Does hand sanitizer really kill more than 99.9% of germs? To answer the question, I set up an experiment the size of my hand. I began the experiment by swabbing the floor for any bacteria, and then transferring it to a plate to grow. I put a generous amount of hand sanitizer on the floor and applied it directly using my hand. I then swabbed the floor for any bacteria again and transferred it to another plate. Like and follow for part 2 for results. Does hand sanitizer really kill 99.9% of germs? Well, today we have the result. The floor before adding any hand sanitizer clearly is contaminated and even has some type of fungus growing right here. After rubbing in some hand sanitizer for about 30 seconds, I am left with no bacteria. So although the hand sanitizer was clearly effective at killing the bacteria, companies cannot fully claim that their product kills 100% of bacteria. There are still spores that can survive and alcohol-resistant bacteria. Let's see how effective these masks are. Chances are you probably wear a surgical mask, a cloth mask, or a gator mask. Today's experiment will occur under the fume hood. I will be using sterile technique by wiping down all the equipment with ethanol. I began by coughing on the plate about conversational distance away. I did the exact same thing with the surgical mask, the gator mask, and the cloth mask. Since we're in the midst of a pandemic, I'd figured this video would be relevant. Be sure to like, comment, and follow for part 2 for results. In part 1, we tested how effective different types of masks are, and today we have the results. In the experiment, I coughed with no mask, a surgical mask, a cloth mask, and of course a gator mask. The plate that I coughed onto with no mask, conversational distance away, obviously has a bunch of bacteria. The surgical mask, on the other hand, is one of the most common masks and is clearly effective at stopping the spread of germs. The much more fashionable cloth mask is clearly effective at stopping the spread of germs as well. And the gator mask does show the possible spread of germs, but I would just recommend extra testing in the future. It is important to keep in mind that viruses are much smaller than bacteria, but we can still apply this concept towards viruses. Be sure to like and follow if you enjoyed this series. We use disinfectant wipes to clean just about everything. Today we are going to find out if disinfectant wipes work just like it advertises. We will begin today's experiment by swabbing the ground, the counter, and the doorknob. Then I will wipe down all 3 surfaces with a Clorox wipe. We will be transferring the bacteria from each of the surfaces to a plate, before and after the disinfectant wipe. If you want to see the results, be sure to like and follow. We use disinfectant wipes to clean just about everything. In my last video, we set up an experiment to see how well they work. The ground and the counter were pretty contaminated, and the doorknob did not seem to grow bacteria. However, after using the disinfectant wipe, everything was clean. Judging by this experiment, I would have to say that disinfectant wipes do work. How contaminated are porta potties? If you had used one of these, then chances are you probably had no other choice. We will begin today's experiment by swabbing the toilet seat, the back seat, then transferring it to a plate to grow. I'll swab the outside door handle for any bacteria as well. Lastly, we will check the urinal for any bacteria where it drains, then transfer it to a plate to grow. I am willing to bet that these porta potties have not been cleaned in a long time. So there is no telling what will grow, but like and follow for part 2 and for results. How contaminated are porta potties? In part 1, we swabbed the inside of this porta potty and grew the bacteria on a plate. Well, today we finally have the results. In this experiment, I swabbed the toilet seat, the urinal, and the door handle. The door handle seems to have a wide range of bacteria judging by morphology. The porta potty urinal is obviously contaminated, but it mostly seems to be of one type of bacteria. I may need a retry, but the toilet seat seemed to be clean. If you're using a urinal, then there's probably nowhere for you to clean your hands, so just refrain from touching your face.